What are the most common legal pitfalls in real estate transactions, and what's the best way to avoid them? Well, firstly, as a buyer, due diligence is absolutely critical. So do not buy a strata property without doing a comprehensive strata report. And the main things you want to look at is, number one, are the levies likely to go up, or have they been established to go up? Number two is, are there any special levies for any major works that are actually going to be carried out in the immediate future? The other thing is how much money sitting in the sinking fund, because you're actually buying into that asset. Now, if you're a buyer looking at a house, a pest and building report is absolutely critical. Now, these days, they're a lot cheaper and a lot more affordable than they used to be. So what you want to look out for in a pest and building report is not necessarily past pest damage, because that's quite common, but is there any current pest activity? Because that needs to be treated, and that could be termites and that could be a disaster. Now, the building itself, it's never going to be perfect, the building report. There's always age-related issues. The main pitfalls you want to look for are, is the roof going to collapse? What condition is the structural engineering of the home in? Age-related issues, especially if you want to buy a character home, are very, very common, so you have to accept that. The best advice I can give you is, once you've done either a strata report or a pest and building report, is to actually pick up the phone, speak to the strata manager, and get familiar with the building. Or if it's a house, call the actual building inspector and say, I've read the report, but can I just ask you a few questions, and what do you think would stop me from buying the property? Now, as a seller, common pitfall would be, once you're preparing your contract, I think if it's a house, a survey of the land would be absolutely critical, because a lot of boundaries have a lot of ambiguity around them. So identifying the boundaries of the home with a survey, it's only an extra few $100s, which I think is really important. Also, what you want to be able to do is have a land tax adjustment in there as well, in case you're investment property and you don't want to be liable for the entire land tax for that particular year if an investor is buying the property. And also, you want to make sure there's special conditions in there that suit you. So one of the most common ones is release of the deposit. Now, if you're selling and then looking to buy, ideally you'd like the deposit released to you within that 6 to 12 week period, so you can put a deposit down on another property in the event you see one that you like during that period. So they're the most common to look out for. Reach out to me anytime if you're after any more information.